Will Roberts out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's hot and sunny, and we're the ThePoliTwits. Today's topic is the Middle East. Of course, our president had a couple of words about that, and well, today it looks like they're spotting up all over the internet pictures of our president driving a bus and Israel underneath it. But that's not my opinion. That's just kind of what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. I'm not going to give my opinion today about this whole Middle East thing because I kind of had the belief that, well, maybe we ought to take care of our own borders first before we tell folks what to do with theirs. Their boundaries. They can set their own boundaries. However, I've got two ThePoliTwit reporters that are, well, they're dying to give you their opinions. And you can too. Right afterwards, I'll tell you how to do that. We're going to check in with Jimmy Mulligan in Los Angeles, California, and a new one in South Africa, Cape Cod, South Africa, a young lady by the name of Alex. So here we go, spinning around the globe. Here's the ThePoliTwits and what we think.
Hey gang, it's Jimmy here. Yeah, so Will, we're discussing President Obama's speech regarding the Middle East. I think he totally threw Israel under the bus. I think that that in order for them to go back to the 1967 lines, they would have to give up a good part of Jerusalem, which I don't believe. I think that Israel has been one of our greatest allies for many, many years, and I think that President Obama throwing them under the bus, basically suggesting, that they give up part of the homeland and not standing by their side is foolish. I think it's a horrible move politically, and I think it's quite arrogant of him to think that one of our allies that we've known for a very long time and been friends with for a very long time doesn't know what's best for them. So I think that he needed to take that into account. I know you're probably not surprised at all that I feel that way, but I think it was a foolish move on his part. Netanyahu went to Harvard, he went to MIT, he's accomplished far more in his life than Obama ever has. This guy's very smart, he knows what he's talking about, and he gave out a pretty good thrashing to President Obama this morning, if you'll go back and look at his response to the Mideast peace talk thing. I think that he could have quite possibly disrailed the talks between Israel and Pakistan by some of the things that he said. I think it was foolish on his part. So anyway, I think he needs to either man up and side with Israel, who is our greatest ally and has been for a very long time, or just keep his mouth shut about it and stay out of it. So anyway, those are my opinions. Follow us, ThePoliTwits, Mulligan Jimmy, and Will Rogers, USA. Ciao.
There is only one question that needs to be answered in this entire Middle East process that has dragged on for decades. What are the legitimate lines of the nation of Israel? What are their rightful borders? And then I suppose in the same breath, we should ask as well, who gets to set those boundaries? Who has the legitimate and legal right to set the boundaries of the nation of Israel? Mr. Obama, I love you. But if you're going to play the history card, I'm afraid 1967 is just not going to cut it. You are going to have to go back 3,500 years, all the way back to the root of the situation. Who set those boundaries, and what exactly were those boundaries? And why is Benjamin Netanyahu so heartsore and so reluctant to give up land that he believes in his heart was promised to his people?
All right, well, that was it, ThePoliTwits. If you have any suggestions, advice, or topics that you want to hear or you want to talk about, it's real simple. Get a hold of us. DM us. Direct message, that is, if you're not a Twitter person. Or maybe you can just email us, ThePoliTwits@gmail.com. This subject is a real hot one. You know, the Middle East, again, it's kind of like, well, I think we ought to check our own borders before we check others. It's a little bit like being a divorced couple and giving marriage advice. All right, see you next time on ThePoliTwits.